Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining me today. My name is David Boulard, and I'm a customer service representative at Teacher Creative Materials, and where we create a world in which children love to learn. Today, I'm going to be reading The Art and Science of Skateboarding by Monica Davies. So let's get started. The skate park. Welcome to a community skate park. This space has ramps, stairs, and rails, and it's packed full of skaters. Some skaters zip past, rolling down basins quickly. Others swing by, hopping onto ledges and skating along edges with focused balance. One skater rockets down the pavement in a straight line. She bends her knees and jumps, lifting towards the sky, while her skateboard stays attached to her feet. Everyone here has different skill levels. Even so, there is a sense of community. Beginners learn from more experienced skaters. Long-term skaters work together to practice new tricks. And as long as you're willing to try and fall a time or two, the world of skateboarding is open to you. Skaters are a welcoming group. They also cheer for creativity. Throughout history, skateboarding has gone through its ups and downs, but skateboarding has remained a form of self-expression. For skaters, tricks are an art form, one they will never tire of perfecting and reinventing. There's a lot to explore in the skateboarding world. So, are you ready to drop in? The basics of the board. At first glance, skateboards have a simple design. They're just wooden boards with wheels, right? Actually, skateboards are more than they first appear to be. Even simple boards have a lot of clever design elements. Each aspect has been finely tuned over the years, trial and error. The art of grip tape. Grip tape has a grainy surface and feels like sandpaper. This tape, exactly its name suggests, it helps skaters grip the board. Skaters use grip tape and paint to create their own unique designs. These designs range from simple, inventive, and help skaters express themselves artistically. The deck. The anatomy of the skateboard breaks down into three parts: the deck, the wheels, and the trucks. The wooden plank that skateboarders stand on is the deck. Today, decks are made of sugar maple wood. For years, engineers experimented with different materials for the skateboard's base. In the past, decks were made of aluminum or plastic, but maple wood has become first choice material for decks. This is due to the wood's strength and elasticity. Maple wood bends easily. This lets the skateboard builders mold the deck. A deck is usually made of 7 plies or layers of wood. The layers are pressed tightly together using glue. The glue then dries and the deck is shaped to the curved form people are used to seeing. Skateboard decks come in several styles. However, most styles fall into 2 categories. The first category is the shortboard. True to its name, the board is the shortest style on the market, and it's also the most popular, recognizable style. The shortboard is built for tricks and jumps since it's the lightest of all boards. The deck of the shortboard has a unique concave design, which tilts up the edge of the deck, as well as the nose and the tail of the board. This shape serves 2 purposes. First, the shape makes the board stronger. Second, it makes the board easier to control. The shape is also crucial to completing many well-known skateboard tricks. In contrast, the longboard is designed for travel. The longboard is the second category, nicknamed cruisers. These boards can glide down roads smoothly. The boards also turn corners with less effort. Longboards have longer decks, which can accommodate larger wheels. These skaters right here are riding shortboards at the skateboard park, and below you can see pictures of the different varieties of skateboard shapes. The wheels. While decks are the support system of the skateboard, the wheels are what make them roll. Over the years, skateboard wheels have gone through many changes. Early on, people tried to make different materials, all with little success. Polyurethane wheels smoothed out early problems, literally. Polyurethane is a type of plastic. Polyurethane wheels were introduced in the 1970s and led to a smoother and slower ride. The texture of the wheels provided more grip and made skating safer. Today, polyurethane is still the top wheel choice. Skateboards come equipped with 4 of these tough, durable wheels, but skaters can choose the size, shape, hardness that they need for their specific skating styles. The trucks. The final piece of the skateboard puzzle is the trucks. Trucks are the board steering system. They are frames made of aluminum or other metals. These frames direct a board's wheels in swinging curves, which help a skater control their route while riding. While hidden from view, trucks are an essential part of the skateboard. This system allows skaters to control their direction by leaning. Leaning to the right means the skateboard will go to the right, and leaning to the left means the skateboard will go to the left. Here we can see a little picture of the trucks and the wheels. Engineering, highs and lows. Trucks come in different heights. The height difference between the two is just a couple of millimeters, but these tiny changes make a big difference. A low truck means a skateboard is lower to the ground, which makes it more stable. A high truck is heavier, but it lifts the skateboard higher above the ground. Some people believe this helps skaters jump higher. Each height has been engineered for a specific riding style. A broadboard history. Over the decades, skateboards have changed their shape, build, wheels, and even purpose. Roll back and let's take a look at the board's history. 1950s modern board hits the scene. Skateboards were first made in the 1940s from wooden boxes, but it wasn't until the 1950s that California surfers created modern skateboards. Ocean tides are not always surf ready, so on the bad surf days, surfers looked for other ways to ride. This jump-started the idea of sidewalk surfing. The first skateboard had a plastic setup. They were wooden planks with roller skate wheels attached. People rode down boardwalks on this new invention. Riding boards with wheels mimicked the motion of riding waves. 1960s, room for improvement. Larry Stevenson was a California lifeguard. From his lifeguard tower, Stevenson saw skaters riding on wobbly homemade boards. He knew that they could be improved. Two key designs thanks to him. First, he made boards that rolled on clay wheels. These wheels had a bit more traction, which made it easier for skaters to stop and turn. Second, he won a patent for his new design, the Kicktail. This design revolutionized skateboarding and paved the way for new tricks. Here we see a picture of two friends riding a skateboard in the 1950s. Before clay wheels, the first skateboard had steel wheels. These wheels made for a dangerous ride as they spun down roads with little to no traction. 1965, board sales crash. Skateboarding was a rising sport, but in 1965, its rise skidded to a halt. Safety was an ongoing issue for the sport. Medical experts branded the sport as a menace. Many stores stopped selling skateboards. Parents canceled skateboard orders for their kids, and sales plummeted. 1972, playing with Polly. In 1972, a man named Frank Nasworthy changed the future of skateboarding. He did it with one simple idea: polyurethane wheels. Roller skate wheels were already made of polyurethane. Nasworthy used the plastic to make a skateboard wheel. It was a success. The new wheels made skateboarding smoother and safer. Polyurethane wheels are still used today. 1975, the Z-Boys zip in. In 1975, a group of 11 boys and one girl called the Z-Boys performed at a contest. They thrilled the crowd with their edgy, fearless tricks. Before, people thought of skateboarding as a tame sport, but the Z-Boys tricks showed the world a new side. Their style would end up defining the sport for years to come. Today, the Z-Boys are seen as legends in the skateboard world. In early 1950s, most skaters either raced downhill or performed freestyle. Freestyle refers to tricks done on flat ground. 1976 to 1978, new terrains. California suffered a drought in the late 1970s. To save water, many swimming pools were drained. These empty concrete basins became new grounds to be explored. Skaters began skating up the sides of empty pools. For years, skaters had only ridden on horizontal ground. With these pools, they had vertical options too. In the 1970s, skaters rode at construction sites. Giant sewer pipes let them try out a new vertical tricks. This was unsafe and legal practice, but mainly died out in the 1980s. 1978, Ollie Origins. In 1978, Alan Ollie Glenfield came up with a way to make his board fly. By skating down ramps and pools, he could jump in the air and take his board with him. This trick became known as the Ollie. 3 years later, Rodney Mullen created a way to do an Ollie without needing a ramp. With this, the flat ground Ollie and street tricks were born. 1980s, an underground movement. Skateboarding kept growing as new concrete skate parks opened, but by the 1980s, insurance rates for the parks were getting too high. Parks were designed poorly and too many people were getting injured. Still, dedicated skaters kept riding. Smaller skateboard companies opened. They made and tested new styles of boards. Unsafe skate parks pushed skaters out of the parks into the streets as skateboarding became more urban. 1995, the first X Games. In 1995, skateboarding finally got picked up by the mainstream media. ESPN hosted the first X Games. The X Games are a sports festival which highlights alternative sports. The televised games were a huge event. The games led to a huge increase in skateboarding's audience. This was key to changing the public's opinion of how they viewed the sport. Viewers watched skaters compete difficult tricks. For many, it was the first time they'd seen this sport in action. Before the X Games, skateboarding had an outsider profile. Not many people knew about it. But after the X Games, it gained fame as a professional sport. 2000s, a common sight. Today, it's easy to catch a glimpse of a skater on a skateboard. Skate parks are commonly sight. Skaters can find a wide selection of boards at any sporting goods store. It's easier than ever to start skateboarding. Once, skateboarding was an unconventional hobby. Now, the sport is widely accepted, and skateboarding is still driven by the creativity of skaters. Below here, we can see an architect designing the skateboard park on their computer. Technology, designing the perfect skate park. Over time, empty swimming pools gave way to concrete skate parks. These parks are products of technology. Engineers use software to design skate parks. They can create 3D models of the park, design areas for tricks, and can even inspect the soil underneath the skate park. Park builders can build a virtual skate park before ever breaking ground. Tricks, a how-to guide. Tricks are a part of the skateboarding craft, and they are all made possible by forces and motion. Example, examine how to complete the 3 essential tricks of the kick turn, the ollie, and the grind. How to kick turn. The ollie has defined skateboarding, but most beginner skaters should first learn the kick turn. The kick turn is the most basic trick. It is where a skater pushes down on the tail of their board, placing pressure on the back wheels. The force lifts the nose of the board, and the skater then uses the motion of their body to spin the board. Basically, a kick turn helps a skater change direction. Kick turns can be completed at any angle. Kick turns are an essential trick in skateboarding. Kick turns require skaters to have a solid sense of balance. Practicing kick turns will help skaters stay steady on their boards. This trick also helps beginners learn how to move with the motion of their boards, not against it. Mathematics, kick turn angles. When beginners try kick turns, they may only be able to swing their boards in small angles, but over time, they may learn how to make 100-degree turns or even 360-degree turns. What does that mean? A quarter turn equals 90 degrees in angle, while half a turn is 180 degrees. And then a full turn all the way around is 360 degrees. How to ollie. Mastering the ollie is high on most beginner skaters' to-do list. The ollie is a trick in which a skater jumps high and their board jumps with them. At first look, this trick seems impossible, but practice makes it achievable. To ollie, a skater must stand the right way on their board. Their back foot should rest on the tail of the board, while their front foot is in the middle. Next, the skater bends their knees, slamming their back foot onto the tail with as much force as possible while jumping into the air. This one fluid motion takes a lot of practice to get it right. Below you can see the sequence of the skater trying to do the ollie. As the jump begins, the skater slides their front foot up their board, which pulls them up higher. Then the skater pulls their knees to their chest as they level out. Finally, gravity pulls the skater and the board back to the ground. As they land on the ground, the skater's knees bend again, absorbing the impact of the landing. It takes time and effort to conquer this trick, but once mastered, the ollie lets the skater leapfrog into trickier jumps. Science, the science behind an ollie. While the ollie may seem to defy gravity, this trick happens because of science. When skaters bend their knees, they exert a force on their tails of their boards. The more skaters bend, the greater the force and the higher the jumps. The force on the tail causes the nose to pop up. These forces work together to push against gravity and lift the skaters up into the air. How to grind. Once a skater can kick turn and ollie effortlessly, they can tackle the grind. The grind is a trick that makes use of a skater's environment. Grinding is when a skater slides along an edge, such as a curb or railing, using a board's trucks. The most basic grind is known as a 50-50 grind, which is when a skater grinds along the middle of the board's trucks. The first step to completing a grind is to pick an edge. Most skaters begin with ledges. Ledges are easily found in skate parks, where edges are often straight and lined with metal. Next, skaters back from the ledge, giving themselves a fair amount of distance. Then they ride up to the ledge, building speed, and ollie up onto the ledge. Once they land on the ledge, the skaters grind or slide along with keeping their weight balanced. At the tail of the ledge, skateboarders pop off, landing level onto the ground in one motion. In the skateboarding world, each trick builds skills needed for the next. Once skaters know how to kick turn, ollie, and grind, they have built a foundation to learn tougher tricks. So let's learn more. The world record for the highest ollie is 114 centimeters, which is 45 inches. The world record for the longest 50-50 grind is 62 meters, which is 204 feet. Jaeger Eaton set the world record for the longest 50-50 grind back in 2016. Here we see a skateboarder performing a 50-50 grind on a flat bar. Art in motion. The world of skateboarding has changed a lot over the years. It is a sport that has struggled in the past. Today, the skateboarding world continues to grow. Unique skate parks interest new riders. These parks are great places for young skaters to learn and grow. In skateboarding, creativity is encouraged. New tricks are regularly invented. Engineers look for interesting ways to shape their skate parks, and designers look for ways to help skaters do more on their boards. While skateboarding is not a team activity, skaters often have a support system in the community. Skaters are a tightly knit group who try to help one another. However, at the end of the day, skaters are their own decision makers. They decide which tricks they should try, and they alone decide how to push themselves to become better skateboarders. Every day, skaters get new ideas. They express themselves through their tricks. This kind of creativity is what makes skateboarding more than a sport. It's what makes skateboarding an art in motion. Below, we can see a picture of a skateboarder performing a rail slide on his skateboard. Skateboarding is now an Olympic sport. In 2020, the Summer Games in Tokyo marked the first time skaters can take home the gold for their tricks. Here we have a STEAM challenge. Define the problem. Engineers consider many things when designing safe and unique Skate parks. They test the size, angle, surface material, and the shape of the ramps so the skaters can use them to practice and invent tricks. Your task is to design and build a mold of a new skateboard for your new skateboard park for your community. Constraints. The design must be safe and useful for skaters. It must include at least 3 attractions where skaters can kick, turn, ollie, and grind. There must be a safer area for both beginners and experts. Criteria. Your mold must clearly show the different areas of the park where the tricks can be practiced safely. Research and brainstorm. What types of tools do engineers use to design skate parks? What attractions are popular for beginners? What attractions are popular for experts? Design and build. Sketch your park design. What purpose will each part serve? What materials will work best? Build the model. Test and improve. Test your model. Use a piece of a craft stick and your fingers to show how the trick should be performed. Did they work? How can they improve the park? Modify your design and try again. Reflect and share. How would you modify your attractions if almost all the people who visit the skate park are beginners? What were the biggest challenges you faced when designing your skateboard park? Well, it looks like that's all we have today. I want to thank everybody for joining me and looking further into the art and science of skateboarding. Today, we got to learn about the concave on skateboards. Here we have a skateboard, and we have some concave right here. We also learned about the different designs of skateboards. We learned that they used to have a different shape, a little bit smaller. Now, how they're a little bit bigger and have a kicktail. We also learned about the different skateboard wheels. We learned about the longboard wheel, which is a lot bigger and a lot thicker and softer for cruising. And then we also have the shortboard wheel, which is made for doing and performing skateboard tricks, which is harder and smaller. We also learned about the X Games events and how it changed the public's opinion of the sport. And right here, we have an X Games 13 skateboard. Well, I want to thank everybody again for joining me today, and everybody have a wonderful afternoon. Take care.